Welcome, Tag Fu What? The first and only podcast about people eating stuff. I'm Mike Lisk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another episode of Egg Food. What? Young Michael, how has our week been?
Been good. We know we lost another great writer.
Mm.
One of my favorites. I don't know. Have you read much of Cormac McCarthy, who passed away at 89?
89. No,
Same
I
age as
haven't
my
read
father.
any. What's that?
Same age as my father. My father was 89. But
Nice.
when you think about it, he put out 2 books last December. And he was still going strong in his last year. So the 80s, I guess, is a roll of the dice. You know, it could either be a nightmare or,
What's Cormac McCarthy doing putting out books at 88, 89? Come
well,
on.
he could do it.
Come on.
And they're difficult. I mean, I tried to read the first one. There's 2 books and they're related. They have the same characters in both books. The first book I got bogged down about 100 pages in. So maybe I'll pick it back up. But it was hard. I mean, his books can be very, very difficult, and that's some of the criticism against him. You know, he likes fancy words.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't begrudge him that. You know, he's having fun. You know, if you don't like it, you know, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
He's having fun. You never read any of his
Well, yeah,
books?
right up to the grave. I mean,
Yeah.
put your tootsies up. Relax.
Yeah.
Go to the beach. How many? At least 2 of his books were movies. I mean,
Yeah.
you know better than me. I don't know if any
The
others were.
Road.
Yeah. The second either of my books becomes option for a movie, I will never work a day in my life again. Not happening.
And you're not going to write again.
No.
No.
Tootsies up on the beach.
All right. You just think you're going to be set for life, but
That's right.
I don't know. Writers don't get that much money.
I will.
I don't know if you're going to be set for life.
Well, now
But,
you got me work. Great. That's
yeah,
all I had to look forward to. That movie month.
The Road and No Country for Old Men. There was another wild movie called The Counselor. That was based on, he actually wrote the screenplay for that one.
The Counselor.
Yeah, it's a weird movie.
Scary guidance counselor.
No.
Let me guess. A grouchy
No.
guidance counselor whose kid was killed and he goes around.
No, there's drug cartels and all sorts of shenanigans. Brad Pitt's in it and some other people.
I never watched No Country for Old Men.
No, really? Wow.
Yeah.
You
For
should
some
watch
reason
it.
I had in my head that, again, I do this thing. I thought it was only when I was a kid. Like, I thought you always had to be a Little House on the Prairie or Waltons. You couldn't be both. What's Happening or Good Times. You couldn't be both.
Right.
I was What's Happening, still am.
Okay. I'm waiting for your what was the alternative choice to No Country for Old Men?
Well, There Will Be Blood. I felt like they came out at the exact same time and they were like competing with each other. And I watched There Will Be Blood and I loved it. And I think I had in my head, well, I've made my choice, which is stupid.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know if you need to laugh at me.
You have an interesting way of approaching movies. You know, you're down for television series for hundreds of hours, some of them, and yet you've got this thing about movies, like you've got to conserve your time.
Thank you, Mike. You didn't have to say that. That's nice of you to say. I appreciate that.
That a movie, less than 2 hours is going to steal your time away from you.
It's not about time. I think I had in my head you had to choose one or the other, not based on time, but some sort of allegiance for some loyalty, with some loyalty that doesn't exist. It's not like I was going to be rewarded. Which of the two do you prefer?
I prefer No Country for Old Men.
There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood is great until the end, which for me, P.T. Anderson he struggles with the ends of his movies, are awkward.
Hot takes. Woo!
Boogie Nights, great movie. You know, the scene with the prosthesis. You know, Magnolia.
Oh, good. You didn't like the last scene, the prosthesis?
No, I mean, it was silly. It looked fake. You could tell it looked fake.
To me, it looked like, I don't know why it wasn't fatter. Like, You know what I mean? I'm being honest.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah,
like a
all right.
ribbon.
Maybe that's what I'm saying by I'm saying it looked fake.
It looks
It
fake
looks like a
only
pretzel.
because
It looks like a pretzel, right?
pretzel. I wouldn't call it a pretzel. A pretzel
Well, you're
rod.
saying thin, yeah, pretzel rod, yeah.
Okay, let me explain shapes to you. When you say pretzel, that's
All
a
right,
very
yeah, I get
specific
it.
shape.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it looked like a pretzel rod, and I'm like, wait a minute, like if he has the biggest, you know what? I know you don't like the swear words, the bad words.
Yeah.
Then it should be thicker. What is this pretzel dick? Nobody's wanting to watch that in porn. No woman's like, give me the pencil dick. I'm sorry, the pretzel rod.
Okay.
I might
All
prefer an
right.
actual
Yeah.
pretzel shape.
Okay.
So I was very disappointed in that. But now,
You
when I
like the
say
end of There Will Be Blood with the
I
bowling
love
alley
Boogie
scene?
Nights. Well, when I say I like There Will Be Blood, do I mean that, or do I mean I, as usual, was intoxicated by Daniel Day-Lewis, who just was amazing, chewed up every second of that movie. I
I
don't know if
agree. I agree.
right?
It's a really good movie. You know, I don't dislike it.
Mhm.
I just thought didn't stick the ending again. And
You think
Magnolia's
it was
got the
goofy because of the bowling alley?
the bowling alley scene. It's just like these scenes. He could end it without the bowling alley scene. It would have been better. Same
Can,
with Magnolia, with the frogs. You know,
can I ask you? I never saw Magnolia, so that
check it
movie is
out. It's a
invalid.
good movie. There's good stuff in it.
Is an even greater example of a goofy ending to an incredibly serious movie, Deer Hunter. Remember that? The final scene is like that, like a Chips episode always ended with like a freeze frame. They're giving each other 5. Deer Hunter ends like that. They're all come back to have scrambled eggs, and like somebody makes a joke, and the final cut is the beefy bartender like laughing.
I don't remember that. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. I mean,
for such an intensely and super intense that there's no laugh track on that movie at any given.
No.
But the final frame, they're like, you know what? Let's have a laugh with this. Total late 70s freeze frame, and it just happens to be the one time the moment some guy's laughing. Like if you looked at it, you think it was in like an old episode ending of Benson. Like here comes the credits.
I don't remember that, but I'll go back and lock at it again. I mean,
know your history, Mike. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm asking.
I'm old enough to have seen that in the theater, and that was one of those movies where you came out and it was like, wow, you know, that was something. You know, you knew you had an experience.
Well, my big dream is, which I shouldn't be bitching about the ending, is I have always joked I love to put a laugh track on Deer Hunter. You know, like see if I can get away with having a laugh track throughout the Deer Hunter. How great would that be? Like the most serious moments, but one of them says something funny.
Well, no. I think that's one for you yourself, your private pleasure. You can you can make it for yourself when you need a pick me up.
Mike. You're the one always yelling at me.
You can watch the Greg cut of Deer Hunter with the laugh track.
I think I would love to see. I would love to put a laugh track on the Deer Hunter to see if I can.
Go for it, man.
See if it's even possible. How great would that be?
Yeah, well, I think it would be great for you and you alone. I don't know that other people will be with you on that. But back to Cormac McCarthy. Have you read any of his books?
No, I've never been drawn. He always seemed to have some hard-boiled style that I don't know. I don't love.
Well, I was reading a lot of people's comments about him, and the consensus seems to be the entry point for him is The Road for a lot of people, it seems, which is kind of a straightforward apocalyptic story about a father and his son trying to survive. Yeah, I mean, it's very good. Even if you want to read No Country for Old Men, which does read pretty straightforwardly as the movie, if you want to do that before watching the movie, that's a good entry point. But his two best, and I think the consensus is that he wrote he had like 2 phases. You know, he wrote about his life in Tennessee, East Tennessee, seems like East Tennessee is like a hard place. Do you know that area at all, or have you visited? Like Steve Earle talks about East Tennessee.
Was it outside of Nashville?
Maybe, yeah, maybe in the outskirts or whatever. I'm not familiar with Tennessee at all, but it just seems like
I've driven through it a million times, but
it seems like East Tennessee is distinguished from the rest of the state, and maybe like that's the New Jersey of the South, because it seems to it's got a hard reputation,
Don't try to throw Tennessee in under your.
Well, people can make.
I'll try to get a consensus around the country.
They can leave comments. Am I wrong?
Comments.
Leave your comments. But so he wrote books about his life in Tennessee, and Sutri. I'm not even sure of the pronunciation. It's considered his best, and that's a great book. It's even got some good laughs in that one.
But didn't Steve Earle have a song called West Nashville Blues?
Yeah, but I think he also has one about East Tennessee. Yeah, maybe he's covering both bases. But I think when he was doing his drug tour, I think it was in East Tennessee. But I could be wrong. Again, that's what the comments are for. Correct, Mike? Comments. We make mistakes. It happens. We're not perfect. And you'll let us know.
I disagree. Agree to disagree.
But then Cormac McCarthy wrote about the Southwest, and Blood Meridian is considered his masterpiece.
Oh, right.
And I agree. I mean, it's an unbelievable book. There's just passages in there like you're just like blown away, and it's like, holy cow! I've never read anything like this before in my life. So those are the four that rise to the top, I think.
When did his first book come out? Like 1960, something like that?
No, maybe early 70s.
Oh,
and those are his, I think, first three books. I mean, literally, if you've read Faulkner, it's like this guy swallowed. Yeah, you're not a fan. So yeah, I don't recommend those books to you, because I mean, they're like he's swallowed Faulkner whole. I mean, he's it's almost to the point of almost being an imitator. And then he sort of, after those three books, he sort of developed. He's getting his own voice. Not to say those first three books aren't interesting. Child of God is a freaky. If you're into freaky, just overall freakiness.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
All right, maybe that's the one for Greg. It's short.
You had me at if.
But it's freaky.
Short and freaky.
Short and freaky.
Like my personal ad.
Yeah.
For someone short and freaky.
Your personal ad. So rest in peace, Cormac McCarthy, one of the greats. So who's left? Who are the greats that are left now? It seems like they're dropping like flies. Who are the great writers that you will miss when they're gone?
I mean, Stephen King is. I mean, he's up there. He's old.
Yeah. You've never read Don DeLillo?
I read White Noise.
I'm
not a big dystopian fan.
Okay. Well,
you like him? Like I never loved Vonnegut, except for when he popped up on Back to School.
Okay.
I didn't love.
You're missing out, man. So Stephen King is the only living great for you?
Well, if you want to make me sound like
Thomas
an idiot.
Pynchon, you ever going for him?
He's alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, he doesn't do too many interviews. He's kept a low profile his entire career.
Well, one of my favorite poets is still alive, Nikki Giovanni.
Okay, I've heard that name. I'm not a huge.
Well, then you get credit.
I don't know the poetry world that much.
Well, you know the current U.S. laureate.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we both do.
The first two terms.
From a softball league of all things.
Softball league, yeah. Yeah.
What is the likelihood of that?
Out of that softball league came the first Latina, I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
Poet laureate, and the first two-time poet laureate. And she's just about to have one of her poems launched into outer space for it's gonna like orbit Europa for well, I guess forever.
Uh-huh. What do you mean
Uh,
2 time? And it's like a term now? It's like you got to
the
run for it a
term,
couple times?
I think it's only a year or two, and
Really? Oh, okay.
from what I understand, they said, "Yeah, let's do this again," and she's still going.
Okay. I thought that was like, for as long as you wanted it. I didn't know it was like a term limit.
We'll crack a book open and learn something, Mike. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, from
There's
another to
Alice
the Williamsburg
Munro.
softball league.
You
Yeah.
know that writer, Canadian writer, Alice Munro?
Mm-mm.
Great short story writer. Marilyn Robinson. You know her at all?
Mm-mm.
She's very good. Housekeeping is one of my favorite books of all time.
My favorite living writer is still my favorite writer, Eric Kraft.
Okay.
I mean, he might be 80. He was a big influence on a scrappy little novel. You know it. You love it. Williamsburg Rats. Annie's Tour of Duty.
Yeah.
On sale at Amazon.
It is still on sale. I'm glad,
He's still on sale. They don't, what does that mean? They don't boot you off Amazon.
Well, you're not sold out.
Yeah. I met with my board of directors today and they want to pull the book.
I was trying to order that book, Quantum Criminals. It's a book about Steely Dan.
Oh God. I don't like to hear Steely Dan, much less read about Steely Dan.
The book just came out and it's temporarily out of stock on Amazon. I was like, wow, okay, I guess they're doing all right. They got a nice plug. Rolling Stone did a write-up about it. I actually met there's an artist who does artwork through the book too, and I actually met her through the Best Show a while back.
Well, who's the best living writer then? My mind is, I'm not good at contemporary writers anyway.
I mean, Don DeLillo's a writer who, I'm interested in anything he writes, and I've read pretty much everything he's written. But
I've already said I don't care about Don.
Yeah, I know you don't care about him. You asked me a question, so I'm giving you
Jim
the
Davis,
answer.
who wrote Garfield, he's still alive.
But the last few Don DeLillo books I have been disappointed in. They're just getting shorter and stranger. I mean, I think his best book is Libra, which was about the Kennedy assassination. And unfortunately, it came out almost simultaneously when the JFK movie was going to come out.
Oh, I just rewatched that.
Yeah. And so I remember being disappointed that, Oliver Stone, if he only could have waited a little longer, he could have done the movie version of Don DeLillo's book, which I think is more interesting than the JFK movie.
You think Oliver Stone looks back and is like, damn it, if I only
Yeah, I don't even know if he knows the book exists. Maybe
Do you like that movie though?
I haven't looked at it in a long time. I remember just some of those characters, of course, are in the Don DeLillo book. Because it's just the same oddballs. But also the people that were swirling around Oswald.
Oh, okay. I was a little surprised. I hadn't seen it in probably, I don't know, 20, 25 years. And I was always like, oh, here comes the big courtroom scene. It's going to be amazing. As I'm watching it, I'm like, it seems like a 20-minute dump of, all right, if you guys missed anything in the previous 2 hours, now I'm just going to.
Like a recap, right?
Yeah, like a strange recap. Like, in case you idiots didn't get this, I'm going to have Kevin Costner walk around and just spell it out for you, which I thought was a little weird. I'm not saying it wasn't entertaining and fine, but I was surprised at how much it seemed like it, I don't know, like a catch-all at the end, which is strange. But
I'm almost always disappointed when a movie gets to big courtroom scenes. I get it.
Have the one thing I do love about courtroom scenes, other than My Cousin Vinny, in which case I like all the courtroom scenes, is there's always that moment. The guys, the lawyers delivering the big speech, and all of a sudden in the middle of it, the door opens and into the courtroom comes person X who earlier in the movie expressed they didn't like what he was doing, they didn't agree, they didn't believe in him, but then at the 11th hour they come walking in the courtroom and whatever the lawyer is gives them a knowing nod. They look at each other and they sit down. And it happens in every lawyer movie. They have to have that scene. Person who never believed in you all of a sudden walks in the middle of your speech, and you give the look.
What's the Al Pacino movie where he goes off?
Son of a Woman?
No. No.
The Al Pacino movie.
He's the lawyer. He's the lawyer.
The afternoon.
He's the lawyer. I'm out of order. You're out of order. This whole courtroom is out of order.
Isn't that Son of a Woman?
No, it's wow. Now I got to look it up. Come on.
Ooh-ah. Right?
Yeah, that's Son of a Woman. I'm not talking about that movie. Now I got to look.
Out of Order is a different movie.
No, yeah, it's a different movie.
I thought that was the Son of a Woman. Mike, blink if you're still alive.
And Justice for All.
Oh.
And Justice for All. I'm out of order. You're out of order. We're you know the scene. I saw it again recently. I mean, it's a good scene. That may be my favorite courtroom scene. But
nothing beats, I'm sorry, no courtroom beats My Cousin Vinny.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah. Come on now. You're not topping that.
No, yeah, it's a good one.
And it has the scene where, the person who didn't think he could do it comes walking in halfway through, just right on time, like always. So
I thought you were going to go to your go-to To Kill a Mockingbird, and we're going to go through all that again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know you don't care for that picture. For that book.
No, well, I saw the movie. I feel like, do I have to do it again?
A Time to Kill, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
McConaughey's giving the big speech at the end, and I don't remember who walks in. They give the nod. Oh, I think his wife and the kids or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are these people just always walking into the middle of like final whatever they're called at courtrooms?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the best courtroom movie?
Best courtroom movie. I think it may be for me and Justice for All, or like I said, Cousin Vinny. I mean, like I said, I usually, as soon as a movie heads to the court, I'm like, oh no.
Plus it's always ridiculous. It is always ridiculous because there's always like a crowd of people.
So because you're going to get speeches, and once the speeches go, it's like, okay,
Yeah. Well, I mean the crowd of just spectators. I'm like, I've never known anybody who said, Thursday, let's head down to the courtroom, see what's popping. Sit in with this guy, unless it's like OJ or whatever. Who are these people who go into courtrooms to just be a spectator?
Yeah.
It never happens. It could be your trial for triple murder of Playboy bunnies. And I'm not going to the courtroom to sit and watch.
Yeah, well, mostly it's the family of the defendant or friends.
Which doesn't even happen in real life anyway. I guess they feel like they have to pack the court with humans. So it's like a sport, the spectators.
I was on the jury for a gun charge and gun and drug charge in Jersey City. And there were spectators. It wasn't a full house, no. The trial should never have gone to court, in my opinion.
Did you say that in the jury? This should have never gone to court.
No.
Damn it.
No, but
you thundering in the jury room?
It was such an open and shut case to my mind. But when we got to, so I was hoping like it would be like a 1 hour deliberation. It's like, we'll go around the table, go through the motions. We'll go through the motions, but somebody I almost panicked. I was like, oh no. We're looking at the photographs of the gun and the drugs. Literally, the defendant was caught red-handed throwing a gun and drugs into the back seat of a car, an open car. So they, of course, take photographs of the evidence, And we're looking at the photos, and one of my co-jurors says,
I remember this. You had a
this
bunch of great quotes.
this looks staged. And, you know, I mean, I think I shut down that whole discussion when I said, what should a gun and drugs look like when they're thrown into the back of a car, you know? And I think that kind of like, okay, you know, I think they realized, let's not go down this road, you know.
I remember this. If it's the one I'm thinking of, this is like 20 years ago.
No, it's not. Wasn't that long ago, actually. You
You had a bunch of great quotes.
Oh yeah,
I posted it. It's on Xmas Time, bro. You can't run away from it.
No,
That's a different case.
I worked with a coworker of mine was on the jury for oh now I'm blanking out on the name, but it was a famous. Now it was a famous case in Brooklyn. Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but it was
the court now.
It was a famous case in Brooklyn. It was in the headlines every day, and according to my coworker, the four women for the jury was just like out of her mind completely.
I love it. Let me make this promise to Ed for What fans out there. I will link the post that has you had like a bunch of great books.
I told my coworker he should write a book. I mean, he was just telling me this experience, and it was like, yeah, it's scary what can happen on a jury. You don't know who you're going to end up on the jury with, and things can get out of control. And this famous case famously ended with a decision that made no sense. I mean, the defendant was found guilty of some things, not guilty of others. And it couldn't be. You couldn't be guilty of one thing and not. They were so tied together.
Sounds like you want to take on the system.
No, I mean it's a faulty system because people have their flaws. And
well, plus we just I know we brag about it, but of all things, why we let 12 quote unquote peers decide?
Yeah, well.
But has anybody made the movie? Like, I'd love to make a movie about a juror who wants to keep the jury process going because he likes to not have to go to work. He gets paid. He gets a per diem.
Well,
hates his job, so he's trying to drag this out for as long as possible. How great would that be?
That's where I was going to go with my experience, because I thought
piggyback my idea, Mike. Go get your taste. Don't
no,
worry,
but I'm just saying my experience was, let's wrap this thing up. We've got an hour or so. There's nothing to discuss here. Let's take a vote and we'll be free, But no, it didn't happen that way. And I think it was because I think some people wanted to milk it for one more day, one more catered lunch.
That's what I'm saying. Let's see how, and I'm not talking about like a noble ending where some guy fights to have it change, like 12 Angry Men. I mean, a guy just blatantly trying to drag it out as long as possible. He loves the lunches. They put him up in a hotel. His job sucks. How long can he drag it out before? I guess you get in trouble at some point. I don't know.
No, I think I was in the minority of let's get this done quickly. People were just like, I mean, it was late in the day, but
it sounds like meetings at work when it's like I can wrap a meeting up in like 4 minutes and bye, we're out. But there's some people.
Oh yeah.
If the meeting's booked for half an hour, they want to drag it out the half hour.
Let's linger.
Either in dumb talk or asking every question they can think of. I'm like, I can get you people out of this in 4 minutes. Always someone. I had a big post years ago about I had to do some. I think it's back when I was doing real estate. I'm doing bunny quotes in the air for those who. I had to do some. One of these day-long things of like adult education where you got to learn about real estate or whatever. And this one of these things, it's 8 hours. The first thing the instructor says is, if you guys just let me get through this shit, I can have you out of here after lunch. Like, no. But of course, there's always some idiot. Oh, what about if blah, 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 blah. What about if the guy's talking about like, here's how to wash a pet? Boom, 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 boom. Well, what about if it's a dog? Well, same thing. What if it's a cat? And they just go on, and then you never get out a minute earlier because there's always some idiots raising. They want to ask 1,000 questions, and the instructor is burning using his Jedi mind trick. Dude, we can be out of here in 4 hours. Just shut up. Let me do my bit. Won't happen. But
yeah,
for a Jura movie, it would at least be funny.
People,
what's the rush, guys? What's the rush? This is justice. We got Pizza Hut. We got Arby's. What are we doing? Your life is better than this? I don't think so.
Yeah.
What, the Marriott? Yes, please. I'm going to write that movie. Let me write that down.
Now, it's surprising how much people do like meetings. I was never a fan of meetings. So, yeah, I'm with you. Let's get the hell out of here as quick as possible. But no, people love to linger. People love to hear their voices.
That's why I like to be the one to call a meeting, and I feel empowered to just end it. Like, all right, boom, we're done. But I am going to write a movie about a jurist who just wants to drag it out as long as possible. And maybe in the end he saves a life, but that's not really his intention. Maybe that'll be the ending. He accidentally, by the time he does, comes to the end of the line, something good has happened. I don't know. Probably not.
Well, I look forward to that.
I'm gonna get that post of those questions.
Okay. Yeah, I'm blanking out on the name.
Maybe if you give me 30 seconds, I bet I can find it.
No, let's move on. We've already done too much internet searching for one episode.
I've hit a nerve. Oh,
well, I'm just against the internet searches in the mid-show.
All right. I thought we'd go through the lines and have a laugh. But you want to crack the whip, so I get it.
Yeah. So we are speaking of where the end of the line, where we're drawing near. The choices on the menu are becoming fewer that Greg will eat. There's a bunch of shrimp dishes.
You say this every week. I refuse to believe. Now
I've got about 10 shrimp dishes I can do. When you throw your hands up and say, I can't find anything else different to eat.
I can't substitute pork for shrimp in any of these dishes. I find that hard to believe.
I'll let you try.
Every dish I've ever seen since we started is like choose your protein.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I've got a bunch. Again, it's in the special. I guess every takeout restaurant has their let's see what it's called in my menu.
Can I?
It's called Chef's Suggestions or House Specials, or that's where the takeout restaurant tries to distinguish itself from all the others. And a lot of the times you'll see the same things, but this one's got a bunch of shrimp dishes I've never heard of before, and I thought it'd be fun to have Greg try for the first time.
I just find it hard to believe, because let's be honest, one thing we found out is that a lot of this cuisine is like the joke about Mexican food. It's the same 3 ingredients. It's noodles, it's rice, it's goop, it's vegetables. Suddenly for these dishes, like, whoa. If you don't use shrimp, it's no longer pure. Really? I doubt it. I'm going to take that challenge next week. Pick a shrimp dish. I'm gonna get it.
Okay, we'll do that. So yeah, this week is almost so obvious.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I make one point before we continue?
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like the frustration of coming to the end of the line with the dishes, plus we're coming up on episode number 52, which signifies a year, even though I know we crossed that a couple weeks ago. I think it's a good time to kind of reset and remind ourselves why we're here in the first place, and that is Egg Foo Young. I feel like we need to do a reset. Let's have some Egg Foo Young and celebrate. Oh, that's right. This is amazing.
I mean, I've had Egg Foo Young from 3 different places so far. That's my immediate area. And actually the last place I went to, which is the place I'm currently going to, had the best of the 3. I mean, I could travel.
Let's not lose sight of egg foo young itself. That's all.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay,
Okay.
back to
Now point
whatever
point
nonsense.
taken. And we can always reset. Yeah, and a special anniversary egg foo young episode. Yeah, we could just keep renaming egg foo young episodes.
I just think like every 50 episodes, let's just sit back and have some egg foo young and remind ourselves what brought us together. Everything we have, Mike Lisk, we owe to egg foo young.
Pat ourselves on the back.
Let's pat egg foo young on the back. So, okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Well, this week's dish was, get this, chicken with mixed vegetables. How do we not have this already? But I'm pretty sure we haven't.
Yeah, I thought it's like, wow, I will, but okay.
Yeah, it's
my list I have going on my notes app is a little spotty. I think I missed a few, but
it doesn't jump out when you're scanning the menu.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. My takeaway is that for fans of chicken with broccoli, and there was a period of my life, I think I was eating chicken with broccoli every Monday for a couple of years.
Dark years. Green years. The broccoli.
I would recommend this dish. This is like chicken with broccoli if you're feeling extravagant, because you get broccoli, you get your chicken, you get the same goop, but then you get a few more vegetables. You get carrots, you get the pea pods, you get green celery, carrots. Mine had squash.
I was going to go the opposite direction. I was going to say this, and I say this with affection. If you know my taste buds or whatever, you'll this is like a child's dish. Mine, which I almost ate the entire thing. I'm not saying I didn't like it, but it was the blandest. It was like eating water.
It didn't look like you had much gravy.
I didn't have any. There was nothing. At the bottom, I don't even think there was actual goop. Any moisture at the bottom was just like sweat or whatever, juice, natural juice. I didn't have any.
Yeah, yours looked actually pretty good. People will see the photo tomorrow. It actually looked
maybe.
No, it looked like your whole dish was steamed, because there was no evidence of gravy as far as I can tell, and you're backing me up on that.
What was yours?
What's that?
How was yours? I didn't see.
No, mine was exactly what I said. It was like chicken and broccoli with the same gravy, but a bunch of extra vegetables. That's what it was.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying about these shrimp dishes. They're all going to be the same. Just swap out. Now, let me hear your review, because I have one big thing I want to talk about.
No, mine was fine. I think my criticism, I saw your dish. You had lots of broccoli in yours. So with me,
that's what I'm going to want to talk about in a minute.
Well, with me, I felt I would have liked to have more broccoli. I had about 3 clumps. Lots of onions. I think I left that out before. I mean, there was mushrooms too. Did you just have mushrooms?
I found one mushroom that
one mushroom
burned to the ground.
You threw it. Yeah, but does that one mushroom contaminate the whole dish for you?
No, luckily it was like sitting on top. I was able to just. It was very much like, here I am. Please get.
You actually used your hand. You touched it with your fingers.
Oh, I didn't touch it with my hands.
All right, but all right. So there was one mushroom. Your dish, as far as the vegetables, look better than mine. I'll say that.
It's definitely the healthiest thing we've eaten. Again, I'm not joking. It was like, I don't know, baked water. I mean,
yeah. Well,
I almost ate the whole thing. It was just very tasteless. It had broccoli, as you said. It had carrots cut in some fancy jagged way, like they got, I don't know, those scissors that people use to make pants.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's. Okay, and it had some of those pea pod shells, whatever. Fine, but the broccoli, I gotta say, and I ate plenty of this broccoli. It was fine. It's what I want from a vegetable I don't really like. perfectly tasteless.
Really?
But the texture, I don't know, is broccoli a joke on us? Like, and my nephew who's a pickier eater than me, he loves broccoli. But can't they just reshape it so it's not this weird clump of a tree that you got to chew on?
Small
I don't
bush.
understand how broccoli has stayed broccoli for so long.
Your broccoli looked almost raw. Was it hard?
It did, yeah.
Okay.
Which I like.
Yeah, you like the hard broccoli? Okay, I like it a little soft.
I like it as al dente as possible, and it wasn't as raw as it might have looked. It did look brightly steamed, and but I don't understand the appeal of broccoli, other than okay, it's healthy. You can say there's taste. There's no taste, but why that sprouted stuff at the end? I don't understand. Why haven't we just taken the broccoli, reshaped it so it's a little more palatable? You don't feel like you're chewing on a bush.
Well, you can cut it. You can cut the broccoli.
Don't insult me, man. Like, I can't be the only person who pops a thing of broccoli in its mouth and doesn't think this is weird.
No,
right?
Sometimes it's too big. I hear you on that. They can chop it down to make it more manageable to eat. Because sometimes, it's like huge.
Nobody can possibly like chewing on that clump with all the bush stuff. Nobody can.
I do when there's gravy in it. I like it. Yeah,
well,
and it's a little soft.
People love it with like melted Velveeta on it. I'm like, well, that's burying the taste. But I don't understand how it stayed so popular for so long with that crazy texture, and I feel like it's a joke being played on us. They're like trying to get rid of this garbage plant, a weed, basically a fat weed, and we keep buying it like idiots. But I did eat most of it because it was tasteless and harmless. And I know it's like healthy. I guess if you eat like 10 pounds of it, you get some of the nutrients. But
now your dish definitely looked healthier than mine. That's for sure. Wait until you see mine. Mine is lots of goop. The goop is.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, the goop is through the whole dish.
I didn't have any goop, which is good. Maybe they finally have heard. Maybe every restaurant around here has finally heard enough of me bitching about goop.
And you had a fancy bag. I mean, that bag was something else.
How nice was that bag? Very impressed.
It was.
And I've ordered from there before, and I don't remember a bag like this. So maybe people are listening out there. They're like, you know what? When these guys order from us, we gotta step up our game. Bag was very impressive. The surprising disappointment, the wonton soup. Of course, I got a side of wonton soup as a backup because
I did too. Yeah.
How many wontons do you think was in this large soup?
Well, you should get at least 4. Oh, is a large one?
Large.
You should get about 8.
I got 3.
3 in a large. 3. Oh man.
Not only 3, but then the wontons themselves, it's like this much of the wrapper, the dumpling, whatever. Like maybe this much meat.
Wow.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
No. You keep getting ripped off. Yeah, you I guess they're putting all the money into this custom-made bag.
Bag is very impressive, which I understand.
I'll post this bag. I mean, it looks like
goop anymore.
It's like you came out of a jewelry store. I'm surprised somebody didn't try to mug you with that bag. It's like, oh, look at that bag. Gucci.
Very impressive bag. Not as good as they could have done for me with the chicken and vegetables. It's fine. But how's wonton soup disappointing? 3 in a whole large. Like nobody's like getting the wonton soup just to drink the gallon of soup of broth.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the broth. No, I get 4 wontons crammed to the gills. They're big in a small soup.
Last week, I almost couldn't eat them all. They kept coming, like a
very
clown
filling.
bar.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad.
Thank you, Mike.
I've been getting fruit salads. Try to eat some better food, compensate for all the Chinese food I'm eating. So I've been getting like a fruit salad, and I'm thinking, well, have we done this before? Rank the fruit in a fruit salad? Have we done that? That ring a bell?
I did. I will say over the pandemic, I did eat more fruit in that year or two than I had my whole life combined, and I loved
Really?
it.
Yeah, yeah,
I need to get back to it.
yeah.
I've gotten off of
I
but
especially
no,
like it. Yeah, I especially like it in the summer. It's getting warm. You don't want to eat oatmeal in the morning.
yeah.
So
You want to do a fruit salad ranking? What's in fruit
yeah,
salad?
well, fruit salad that I've been getting, I guess it varies. You got your pineapple,
Pineapple,
cantaloupe,
cantaloupe.
melon.
Like a honeydew melon?
Yeah, honeydew melon. Mine had blueberries.
Nice.
Grapes.
Grapes. Any
All right.
strawberries?
Strawberries sometimes, yeah.
We'll put them in there.
Yeah. They're part of it. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something.
That looks pretty.
Yeah.
And they can always swap out blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, whatever.
So how do you rank those?
I gotta be honest. Between my time loving fruit during the pandemic and my recent experience with pineapple fried rice, pineapple, I really love pineapple.
Me
Which
too.
surprised
Me
me.
too. Number one.
Number
Again,
one.
Yeah, we're agreeing again.
I don't know if I put it number one. I've always loved grapes.
Grapes are great too.
Grapes almost seem like the candy of fruit. Like they're almost, I remember as a kid, you felt like you were getting away with something because they're too good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put grapes and then pineapple.
Okay. I'm gonna flip it. I'm saying pineapple. Because
again, and grapes almost feels like it shouldn't be a fruit because they're so tasty and flavorful. I'm gonna put grapes ahead of pineapple.
Okay.
But boy, have I learned I love pineapple.
Yeah, and the pineapple I get in these fruit salads, I just pick up the thing. I'm not making it myself from all the fruits.
Yeah,
it's pre-made at the Stop and Shop, and they're
I've never made a fruit salad in my life.
They're very generous with the pineapple with these huge chunks.
They think people don't like them. I got news for you. I got news for you. It's two pineapple lovers right here.
Yeah, no, I love it, and they're putting these huge chunks in there. And in my zeal to eat this thing, I'm stuffing these huge pieces of pineapple in my mouth. And of course, my thoughts wander to exactly where it tends to. I'm like, what if I choked to death on a piece of pineapple?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a stupid way to go?
So
I'm like, should I, so yeah, I've got to take the extra time to chop up these giant chunks of pineapple. I love them so, but I don't want to die eating one.
No.
Yeah.
That'd be stupid. So then we kind of have two subsets left of the melon group and the berry group.
Yeah.
There's no chance any melon is getting ahead of the berries. They're more substantial.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's a lot of bullshit where that's how these places make their money. They load it up with.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the blueberries are sprinkled on as a decorative device.
Yeah, like a little cherry on top.
It's like, let's give them, 6 or 7 blueberries.
Yeah, it tells you something. They can't put a literal cherry on top because that would be too much. Blueberries and strawberries, I'd put them above the melons. What do you think about that, Mike?
I'm actually going to surprise you and go with my number 3 is cantaloupe. Because it is substantial. You get a lot of it.
Yeah, it just seems like
it's very succulent.
Oh, Mike. I'm blushing.
When it's really ripe, and it's like starting to soften.
I feel like cantaloupe was around a lot when I was a kid for some reason. The only reason I'm putting it above like the honeydew melon is that the other melons literally have no taste.
Yeah.
Well, watermelon.
Oh yeah, I forgot to. Yeah, watermelon. Watermelon was in mine. Like I forgot. I knew I was missing something.
You know what? Can I shake it up a bit here?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna put watermelon above the berries.
Really? Wow. Okay.
For 2 reasons. I love watermelon. Plus, specifically to the fruit salad, that's another thing you do get big chunks of.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna put watermelon right below pineapple.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make that my number 4, actually.
Cantaloupe above watermelon?
Yeah.
Hmm.
They've got this seedless watermelon. I don't know where you stand with that.
Well, my thing is, like, if we can do seedless fruit, how do we not have every problem solved?
Yeah.
Like, number one, it seems impossible, but we just accept it. They're like, here's this seedless fruit. And we go, okay. How is that? How can we do that? And yet we still have problems in this world.
Yeah, but I miss the seeds in watermelon. The seedless watermelon seems like an unnatural freak. And I think it's lost something.
If we believe in seedless fruit, do we then have to take into the virgin birth into true account? Do we have to take it more seriously?
Well, it's interesting you've gone to a biblical
thank you, Mike.
thing here, because I was going to go to a biblical thing later on.
Oh, all right. We'll pause.
I'm introducing a news segment this episode called "Death in the News."
Oh, I like that.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. But I think seedless fruit, I feel like we should be a little more suspicious of it than we are.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should be able to solve the homeless problem if we can solve seedless fruit. But
do you put salt on watermelon?
I got grapes, pineapple, watermelon, then the berries, any mix.
I like strawberries. They're a little more substantial, so I'll put them above the blueberries. And last for me is just the melon. They're taking up a lot of space, and they're fairly tasteless.
Incredibly tasteless, yeah.
Yeah. So that's last for me.
Let's read yours 1 through 7.
1 pineapple, 2 grapes, 3 cantaloupe, 4 watermelon, 5 blueberries. We didn't mention blackberries. Sometimes you get those, and raspberries.
They can kind of
blackberries and raspberries. They're interchangeable, I guess.
Those and kind of blueberries, I can kind of mix in whichever.
Yeah.
The strawberries are shaped and have different textures, so they.
So yeah, my number 5 is strawberries. Number 6 is blueberries. Number 7 is melon.
All right. We're close enough. My number 1 is grapes. The candy of fruits. Number 2 is pineapples. My surprising new love. Sorry, ladies out there. Then I go with watermelon. Then blueberries, strawberries. Either way, blueberries has more taste.
Yeah,
and they are a superfood.
Yeah,
strawberries are more substantial. I will raise a red flag about strawberries. Some of these strawberries nowadays, they're the size of baseballs. And I have noticed the bigger they get.
So maybe they've been tampered with, right? They're unnatural. Again, they've been altered.
Yeah, if you want any flavor from a strawberry, you have to get a smaller one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
And then number 6, I go cantaloupe, just because it's tastier than the always sucky, disappointing. Why is it even there? Honeydew melon or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of in sync.
Yeah, we're almost in sync. Yeah.
Nice.
I want to raise a question with you. I keep seeing these advertisements for different things. It's grilling season. I like to grill stuff, but now you're seeing these new things that they're trying to sell to people, and it's just making me think, what's going on with grilling?
Like what? Like modern? Like
more? I see this thing that all these new improvements on grilling want to get away from the grill. Like the grill is disgusting. The grill is disgusting. Why are we even cooking things on this thing? But so we need to put like a flat. You've seen that flat mat you can put over the grill. Now I just saw something where you've got it looks like little minnow traps, and you put your veggie. You put your
I've seen those.
You put your veg.
Those look like they could be useful.
You put your veggies in this minnow trap, and you roll.
You're right, though. Minnow traps. That's a great way to say it.
And you roll it back and forth across the grill, and it's like, again, what is the point of grilling if the grill is disgusting to you, I don't know what's
Oh,
going on there.
I kind of like the idea of those for like vegetables. It's just a way to kind of keep them. I think you can control them with that thing.
Hmm.
But to your point, yeah, it's fire and a metal grill. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. My problem with grilling is there's always some asshole at any barbecue you go to wants to put on chicken thighs. I mean, come on.
Uh-huh.
Dogs, burgers. Nobody wants your stupid chicken thighs. It's always some idiot. He wants to do the barbecue sauce, slathering on again. The skin, which I guess we're supposed to eat, even though it's disgusting,
Hmm.
always burns to a crisp. The chicken's raw, slathered in barbecue sauce. Nobody wants it, but there's always some idiot who wants to take up half the grill with his precious chicken thighs. That's all I care about.
Okay.
I don't care whatever the geniuses are doing with the grills.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure it's over, but
But
I
all
kind
these
of,
all these innovations seem to be against the grill. It's like they're saying the grill is the worst thing about grilling.
yeah.
So let's do these things that sort of take that out of the equation. I meant to ask you before. I follow this guy on Instagram. He's a Southern comedian. He's got the heavy duty accent, and he does these funny little videos. Tavin something or other. Do you know that guy?
Tavin?
Tavin. His first name is Tavin.
Mm.
But he mentioned salt on watermelon. Is that a thing?
Putting salt on watermelon?
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah.
I've never tried that before.
Well, people like I've only seen guys who were in World War II. They put salt on ice cream.
Hmm.
So I think there's people. I don't know if it's a generational thing or a Southern thing, or that put salt on sweet stuff.
Hmm.
I've never done it, but I've seen it. I'm aware of it. I
Yeah.
avoid it.
Yeah, I've never tried it. It was just something I thought maybe it was a Southern thing. Ask
It's
you
never
about it.
occurred to me. Ice cream or watermelon. You know what this needs? Salt.
Yeah. I've noticed my picture's gone out of focus. So
I noticed that. I thought this man was
is
like, "Oh, good, the eyes are getting shittier." Great.
This is the David Lynch portion of the video. I don't know what's going on. I didn't touch the thing. I moved closer to the camera and it adjusted and then didn't adjust back. I don't know.
Looks like you did the old Vaseline on the lens trick or something.
Yeah, I didn't touch it, but all right, well. So I don't have a problem with me being out of focus.
Yeah, where's my out of focus?
Anyway, did you see that Bill Walton? Any of that Bill Walton 30 for 30?
No, is there a new one?
Yeah, I think it's new. It's like long though. It's like 4 parts.
Huh.
Yeah, and I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw the little section. Of course, they talk about his fandom of the Grateful Dead.
Oh, I was gonna say, is this gonna be about the Grateful Dead?
Well, no, I'm gonna bring you someplace else though.
I'm like,
So-
of all the basketball 30 for 30s Mike will have watched. It's the one where the guy happens to love the Grateful Dead.
No, I mean, I like the 30 for 30s, but I wasn't aware of this one, and it just was on, and of course I saw them talking about the Dead, so I kind of paid attention to what it was. But it turns out I knew about that, and they talk about it, and but he's also equally huge fan of Bob Dylan and Neil Young, to the point that his house, they do a little mini tour of his house, and he's got rooms dedicated to Bob Dylan, to Neil Young, to the Grateful Dead.
Come on, you're Bill Walton. You're better than that.
But then I'm thinking, well, I wonder what Greg, if he had 3 rooms to devote to his musical heroes.
Well, that's pretty easy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, well, the Beatles and the Ramones.
Right. Okay.
The
Who's
only
number
question
3?
would be my third.
Kinks?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say the Replacements, but I feel like there's not enough there on the bone. Whereas the Kinks, there's tons of stuff in the bone.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Beatles,
Okay.
the Ramones, and the Kinks.
Mhm.
Definitely. That would be fun.
Yeah.
All I have to do is have that Bill Walton money. What about you? The Grateful Dead.
Well, no, here's the thing. Here's the thing, me and I mean, if I just go by the amount of music per artist, I mean, I'm kind of in the Bill Walton zone. I mean, you know, I have a lot of Bob Dylan, a lot of Grateful Dead, a lot of Neil Young. So, I mean, Springsteen, you know, I have a fair amount too.
Bruce will be
Uh,
up there.
but those are probably my top three. The Rolling Stones, you know.
If you could have one thing of memorabilia or something historical from any of those guys, what would it be?
Like a guitar or something like that, signed guitar or
Something. Like John Lennon's glasses.
Well,
when
I had it. I
when
had
he
an
was shot.
autograph. I've told this story many times. I had the autograph of Jerry Garcia. But
Nobody
you
cares about
know,
an autograph, Mike. Talking about like,
but it was
what was he playing
memorabilia. My
when he got
first
his finger chopped
concert,
off? You know,
English town, 100,000 people. But you know, my mother was taking up too much space in my drawer, and my mother was on a cleaning
did I
binge.
miss part of this sentence?
She was on a cleaning binge, and that napkin had to go.
Oh, I see. I don't mean like autographs. I mean like, again, like John Lennon's glasses when he was shot.
Oh, like something
Or,
really close to the person. Yeah.
Johnny Ramone's Moe's Right. Something.
That would be yours?
It'd be up there. I mean,
Uh-huh.
yes, something like that.
Yeah, I don't really collect stuff like that, but
Well, I don't either. I'm saying if you
yeah,
could
yeah.
pick something,
I
it's
don't
like
know.
historical artifact. The handwritten words to Like a Rolling Stone
Mhm.
as he was writing it.
I don't know. What is Neil Young's famous for? He plays a Les Paul. Is that the main guitar? I'm not a guitar.
Oh, well,
guy.
he's famous for putting out 9,000 songs that sound exactly alike. That's what he's famous for. But yes, he plays a Les Paul.
Yeah, maybe you
If
signed
I have
Neil
to
Young
explain
Les
it to
Paul.
you, it means it holds no value to you. Like what's something? It
Yeah,
does annoy me.
I'm not into the mementos like that. I just like the music, man.
Okay, I'm an asshole.
No,
You
no.
care about the tune, you have the music. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm a
Well,
tourist.
you don't have
asshole.
any of this stuff though, either, do you?
I'm not. Yeah, of course not.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying what we have. I'm saying if you could pick something.
Mm-hmm.
Paul McCartney's Hofner bass he played on the Ed Sullivan Show. Or,
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, you have to be a millionaire to get this stuff.
What part of fantasy dream world do you not understand?
I guess I just don't have fantasies about things that I don't see ever materializing. Yeah,
I'm not
I
saying you
can't.
had to have already had it. I'm posing the question.
Yeah,
With
no,
no
but
limits.
yeah, I can't. My mind doesn't wander there. I'm just trying to get through the day.
Oh my God.
I'm not having fantasies about, oh, wouldn't it be great if I had $1
I'm
million?
giving you an opportunity to dream, Mike.
I could have $1 million to go to some sort of rock and
Not
roll
even $1 million.
memorabilia auction.
Priceless. If you could pick one thing, Dylan's
Yeah.
guitar when he went electric.
Yeah.
The boots he was wearing.
How about who's the guy who tried to
I don't dream.
Pete Seeger's axe that he tried to he tried to cut the electricity to Bob Dylan at the
Perfect.
Yeah.
Go.
Pete Seeger's axe. Yeah, I'd like to have.
It's okay to dream, buddy. It's okay to dream.
And what's your dream?
Well, I've listed a couple. I mean,
okay. All right.
Yeah, I like the axe one. Like I like something specific like that. Now of course I'm drawing a blank, but yeah, anything that I've mentioned, I'd be happy with. What about the knitting needles that Dave Davies supposedly used to carve his amp to get that sound for You Really Got Me, that changed the sound of rock and roll forever? Like not the amp, not the guitar, the knitting needles that he legendarily used to poke at the speaker cone.
So he pokes hole. I didn't know this story. He poked holes in the.
There's two stories. He claims he used a razor blade to slice the speaker, and I think for a while Ray was trying to say they were knitting needles, which, as I'm thinking about it, sounds like Ray was just trying to shit on Dave.
Like, wait, yeah. How did he get access to knitting needles in the studio?
Well, they lived at their house. I'm sure a British mother in the 60s. I'm sure there were some knitting needles lying around.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, the razor blade he used to slice the speaker cone to get that distorted sound.
All right.
That would be cool.
Interesting story.
That's a good one. I'm writing that down.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea of not just.
Well, you're in touch with Dave, so yeah. Why don't you tweet at him and see if he still has the razor blade?
Yeah. Hey, buddy. Wouldn't it be great if that never occurred to him? He's like, yeah, shit, you know what? Yeah, I have that. It's sitting in the junk.
You'll get a response. I'm sure he'll respond to it.
I like to keep my personal life separate, Mike, if you don't mind. I don't like to bug my celebrity best friends. That's a great one. The razor blade he used for you really got to make that sound.
Well, maybe this conversation you start with him, maybe you'll lead to a guest spot on here. You know, you never know.
Sponsored by Gillette razor blades. All right, I'm gonna get Dave Davies on this.
Well, last week
I got to write that down. Like I'm not gonna remember. Oh, by the way, get living legend King Dave Davies on the podcast. I try not to forget that. Boy, I love this topic. As soon as we're done with this, I'm gonna think of 10 things. I like that. But
well, last week you revealed your love, and you're still in ecstasy over Beverly Hills 90210.
That Pluto network makes it easy.
So I did just for you, Greg. I make these sacrifices just for you.
I'm touched.
I went to Pluto and I watched the pilot and I watched the first episode of Beverly Hills 90210. Now, nobody calls it that anymore. Is this like one of those shows? I was thinking about it. How many shows just like that's the official title of the show, but nobody calls it by that. It's just 90210.
Cool guys say BH9er.
BH9er.
At the conventions, we say
cool guys.
Yeah, we say BH9er.
And you've been to a 90210 convention.
But no, normally as you become obsessed with the show, 90210. That's what you'd say. Well, what were your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't know what I was in for when it said pilot. I thought it was like going to be like an hour. You know, I wasn't expecting a movie length. It was like over an hour and a half, I think. But so yeah, you can see all the influences. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, probably Dazed and Confused.
Well, this came out before Dazed and Confused, so
did it?
A little respect.
A couple years. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The Fast Times at Ridgemont High is probably the boilerplate, and then so yeah, and then the setup are these two rubes from Minnesota, transplanted to L.A. And how are they going to survive? And so
I don't know. Maybe their rich father,
Brenda and Brandon. You know, which is
twins.
Are they twins?
Always forget they're twins. Yeah,
they are twins. Okay,
yeah.
I don't think that was even mentioned in the pilot.
Sometimes you forget. Yeah, it's
all right.
I don't know if that call it weird, but yeah.
Well, weird is where I think it went by the end of the episode. So yeah, so they're trying to navigate their way around the social scene at this new high school. Brenda's falling in with Kelly, who's just like a cool chick, just got a nose job, and she's the queen of the school. And then Brandon, he's got Luke is not on the scene in the pilot. That was a surprise. I was like, oh, where's Luke? But
like
no
how you
Luke.
call him Luke, not Luke Perry, not Dylan.
Oh, Dylan. Okay, Dylan. Yeah, I forgot his character's name. But Steve is there, and Steve is, I guess that character doesn't develop over the show, does it? He seems to be.
Not for a long time, but by the end of the show, and we're talking 300 episodes, Like in the last 10 episodes,
oh, they let him become a human.
And at the end, he's probably your favorite character by the end.
Really?
Yeah.
They turn him around.
Some have changed. Like by the end, the cast is complete. That's the thing about this show. It has so many different golden eras. Like there's okay, most people, they're in high school. Okay, well that's the golden era. Well, then they're a couple of years in college, the Keg House, all that stuff. That's another golden era that can be its own thing. And it introduces, you don't know her yet, Valerie Malone, Saved by the Bell's Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
I remember her on this show.
Yeah, one of the all-time great characters where one of those things, I think I mentioned this, I don't know if I posted or whatever, but like it's one of these characters, one of these tropes in TV shows where it's like there's one character in the friend group that everybody hates and everybody knows that this person's always trying to undercut them and destroy them, yet somehow they always get invited to the dinner parties and the cookouts and the birthday parties. And they never, even though they know everybody hates them, they never go, you know what, fuck this, and go outside to find other friends.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. But so, and then after, then you're like, okay, you make it through college with these guys. You're like, okay, well, they can't do anything after that's boom, Peach Pit After Dark, whole new thing going. And it's great. Now, the last season or two, I was looking at some of it this weekend. It is a bit on fumes, not the same. But it is a whole nother separate show almost. It's still compelling and ridiculous. I mean, 10 solid years of just, I don't know. It's its own institution.
Yeah.
It's as incredible as it is dumb. And I can't wait for the next 300 episodes. It'll be my honor.
So, yeah, so I watched these 2 episodes and, Steve is sort of the dumb, rich kid. There's a rich young lady who throws these big parties, but she's unhappy, and she's named after an American poet, Marianne Moore.
What's her name in the show? I don't even know.
That's her character's name. Yeah, she's in the pilot, and then she disappears.
Right, you never hear from her again.
Yeah, dark hair, very pretty.
The Chuck lady. Cunningham of 90210.
And basically, she takes an interest in Brandon, and then a whole thing happens where, people think he took advantage of her, and he didn't. He was being the good guy, and somehow this gets announced on the radio. The radio intercom in the high school. I guess nobody monitors what this.
Which is always, I don't know about your high school, but like this high school has like a play-by-play going on all day long. I don't know how these teachers taught anything because it's a constant. Oh, and last night Brandon made out with blah blah blah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, my high school didn't have a radio station.
No, mine either. Yeah.
But there was a station nearby. Brick High School had a radio station, and me and my brother, we were fascinated by this to the point that we wanted to go over there, and we went over to the high school. We were going to try and sneak into the studio, but we were locked out. But
if I knew that such a thing as a high school radio existed, my tiny little head would have exploded.
Well, yeah, it exploded for me and my brother, and we didn't have one in our school, but the next town over had one, and we listened to it, and like I said, we tried to bum rush the radio station, but to no avail.
Well, who's your favorite character so far?
Well, I was just going to say Donna is there, but she's just in the background.
My girlfriend. Everyone's giving me shit for 30 years. I was so in love with Donna. Tori Spelling.
I mean, it is kind of amusing to see the fashions of the time. I mean, there's one little scene with Kelly, who's supposed to be the fashion forward character, and there's a scene where she's wearing what looks like long underwear or something. It's just like a ridiculous outfit. But I guess at the time,
the best is Brandon. First couple of years, they constantly have him in jeans and a jean jacket. And I'm like,
But the
you
flannels
must
are
be good
going.
looking if you could pull that off.
He was ahead of his time with the flannel shirts, though. He's wearing the flannels. I guess they
From
figured
Minnesota, bro.
that's a guy from Minnesota is still going to wear the
And
flannels.
I think the first time, now you've seen it more recently. I think the first time we see Dylan, isn't he like in overalls
No,
and like
he's
no shirt but
no,
overalls?
he's a surfer.
Right.
So
One of
Brandon's
the earlier episodes, yeah, he's wearing, maybe not the first time you see him. Overalls, no shirt.
I don't remember that look, but he's at the beach with his surfer buddies
Yeah.
and a troubled young woman.
Yeah.
Who
Oh yeah.
Brendan has to step in to help.
The amount of stuff that happened to these kids, there is no human issue ever that did not occur a couple times.
Yeah.
To all these.
And then we have David. David is the freshman. He's the twerp, and he's got a sidekick.
Yep.
That sidekick doesn't last very long, does he?
I got bad news for you about the sidekick. I don't want to give it away, but don't get too attached to Scotty. I won't say why.
Oh, wow.
I will tell you.
Am I going to get my heart broken with the sidekick?
You're going to get a little bit clamped, but don't get attached to Scotty. That's all I'm saying.
And then we find out that Dylan has this ruse where him and his buddies pretend that they're breaking into the rooms at a fancy hotel. And these are, his father's putting him up in this fancy hotel.
Because dad owns California.
Yeah.
So, of course, he hates his dad.
So, yeah, he's the troubled son of a detached father. We haven't seen that before.
Yeah. Is it when I don't know if you've seen this yet, like he compares himself to Byron.
Well, yeah, he's got a copy of Byron in the car.
Yeah.
Brandon? It's Brandon.
Brandon, yeah.
I'm calling him Brendan.
I think Dylan himself says it. I'm mad, bad, and to love or something. I don't know, whatever the quote
something
is.
like that. Yeah,
I was like, wow.
He's a romantic rebel.
Yeah.
But the weirdest part of the pilot for me, so Brenda's romantic interest in the pilot is she sneaks into a club with a fake ID, and a 25-year-old man hits on her.
Hold on, let's be honest. Like any of these girls in Beverly Hills has to worry about not getting into a club. I'm sorry. Come right in, miss.
Okay.
Come on, it's not like me showing up.
Yeah.
Having a white knuckle it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You in a t-shirt. Yeah.
You better have a, So okay. Yeah.
But yeah, Brenda gets in, her friends do not, and she meets a older gentleman who's rich, of course, and she's on the verge. She goes to she sneaks out on a couple dates with the older man. Was he a lawyer or something? He's pretty well off. But then it all sort of comes out that she sort of tries to maintain her virtue. And then she admits that she's still in high school. She pretended for a little bit she was at USC, I think.
Or UCLA. There's a UCLA connection. I'm getting mixed up because I've seen too many episodes. That must be a list.
Doesn't matter. It was just a ruse.
The 10 dumbest plot lines. like it's only a couple episodes in, you'll see. I say this like you're going to keep watching. Is Brandon's father, that's successful accountant. He has a client home to entertain, warm him up at home, and then like chooses that moment to like call the guy out for exploiting labor or whatever. And I'm like, oh my, that's never, come on, it's a 15-year-old kid. It costs this guy, and father's horrified. I don't remember the ending. I'm sure it worked out in the end where Brandon was right and the guy like changes his whole business. To say nothing of later on when Brandon takes on this alleged butcher of Asia or whatever, the Hitler of Asia, and like Brandon confronts him because he's the student body president, because that's what college student body presidents do. And oh, so good. I need to get a list of the dumbest plot lines.
Well, the ending of this pilot episode left me with the notion that this show is going to be about two siblings, and when are they going to lose their virginity? In the pilot,
shame on you, Mike.
In the pilot, they both maintain their virginity. Brenda escapes the clutches of the older man, and Brandon is the good guy to the troubled young lady who wants to just have some fun in the hot tub.
Is he a virgin?
Yeah, he does not follow through.
Well, that doesn't mean he's a virgin, right?
No, well, yeah,
maybe I don't know.
I think it's assumed that they are. They're still in high school.
I know she is, because I know what happens. I don't want to give it away, but spoiler alert: for the entire run of the show, she's not a virgin.
Okay.
Now she did leave after, I think, the 4th season. I don't spoil it, but after 150 episodes, she is no longer a virgin.
Okay.
But now, were you surprised how quickly? Because here Kelly is. She's the queen of the school, very snobby. She will, as you make it through these 300 episodes, she's my least favorite TV character of all time. She is awful. She's
totally not likable. No, she's not likable in these first 2 episodes.
And Grandma Walton are the two worst.
Materialistic.
Everything.
In fact, I think one of her first scenes is she's sitting in her science class, and a heavy set, not very attractive young lady is coming very close to being her partner, and then Kelly just basically accepts the stranger, Brenda,
because she's good,
basically on her looks. Real.
But is it surprising that she immediately accepts Brenda into her social group just like that?
Well, yeah. I think.
I know it's TV.
She's strictly superficial. So Brenda is an attractive young lady.
But to her, there's everyone there is attractive, except for the one girl who tried to be her. The one non super hot person is. They have to have this overweight oaf to her science table. Everyone else in this school is hot as balls, but not this one person.
What about that science teacher? He's playing Beethoven. He's got a statuette of Beethoven, and he's playing the classical music when they're taking a quiz.
Just like my science class back in high school. But to Kelly, like to us, Brenda's glamorous because she's this beautiful actress, yada yada. But to Kelly, she's just this hick from Minnesota.
Yeah.
But she immediately, hey, come meet all my best friends, and we're gonna get in their pajamas and eat SnackWells.
I think it was all based on Brenda's look. I think, she met Kelly's requirements for for a friend with, she'll have, this little circle of hot friends. And I think it was strictly based on that.
I don't know why Donna is even friends with her, much less stays friends with her. Right?
Well, as I said, Donna is just background decoration in the
pilot. As the show goes on, they're best friends.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you're saying. In the beginning, she was a little more of a minor character.
Yeah.
But almost immediately, Donna becomes the main character with everyone else. And then you're like, why is she like Kelly? Kelly's the fucking worst. The only worst character, or as bad, as Grandma Walton. And they're the same character. These judgmental, not Christian, not this and that. The fucking worst.
But the pilot ends with a really weird scene to me, where having preserved their virginity, Brenda and Brandon are in Brandon's bedroom together, and they're essentially discussing their sex life together. Like, well, did you? What if you did? Would you tell me? I'm like, what? I've never had one conversation with any of my siblings about their sex life. Is that a freaky thing? I mean, is that something people do? Is like chat with their brothers and sisters about who they're screwing?
For that, I can kind of chalk that up to, okay, well, they are twins. I guess when you're a twin, you have a super bond.
So you get to be super freaky. You get to be super freaky. You see what I did there? You get to be super freaky.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm okay with that. And that, okay, that's twins. Maybe they do talk about everything. I don't know. but earlier when she's getting dressed or whatever, he's like, "Oh, you know, you're super cute." I mean, that was weird. Ooh,
Yeah. So yeah, there's these little weird vibes that they're giving off, and the pilot even has them dancing together down the hallway. So I'm
But
like,
I will say, as the show goes on,
the incest theme drops off.
well, yeah. I guess the feedback came back. Guys, let's cool with these two. Like you do forget they're twins. You know, they kind of they have their own things. They come together when they do, and fine. But yeah, the only other ones episode is sorry when they got their SAT scores, and whatever one of them got for math, the other got for verbal, and vice versa. And their parents are like, "Oh, that's twins," and I'm like, "Okay." I'm so happy you are devoted to this show.
I'm just about to end this. I feel like we've lost all our listeners.
But that's what I love about Pluto, because I guess they show it 24 hours. So like last night, I watched a bunch of season 3 stuff. When I go home tonight, boom, drops me right into season 4 or whatever. So
anyway, I wanted to get to the news segment. Death in the news.
But to put a bow on this, I bet you I've posted about 90210 100 times over the years. So sorry. Okay. I did a live blog one time of an episode of a random episode that I'd sent you. But yeah, we need to figure out a way that we can live watch together an episode. If we have any IT brainiacs out there who can tell us how the two of us can watch a show together, and comment on it throughout, like Mr. Science Theater on an episode, that'd be great. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep on.
So there was some interesting news this week. I don't know if you saw the woman in Ecuador who woke up in her casket.
Ooh.
You know, so yeah, her name was Bella Montoya, 76 years old.
Like that you're giving us her name, like that.
Well, I want people to Google the story, and they can, this way they can verify that I'm not making this up.
Nobody's calling bullshit on you, man. We're gonna say we all trust you.
But yeah, waking up in your casket, the lid was down, so she had to knock.
Oh, she was at she wasn't buried yet.
She wasn't buried. She was at her wake, and with the casket closed, and I guess ready, not bound for the ground soon. And but she started knocking on that lid and said, "Let me out."
How great would that be, though?
Is it great? Is it great?
Well, number one, yes, you get a second chance at life.
Okay.
Plus, you get to look around at everybody's funeral, because you know that somebody videotaped a lot of it. Because nowadays everybody's and you're like, I'm gonna look at this footage. You motherfuckers better have been crying.
Well, you're almost getting me
going on.
You're leading me into the next story, but I just want to say one more thing about this story. Yes, she's going to live again, but she's also going to die again. So she's going to get death. She's going to get to die twice. And this brings me to my biblical allusion to Lazarus, who Jesus, Lazarus dies and Jesus revives him, and he's back again.
How did he revive?
He just brought him back to life. He was dead, and then he brought him back to life. He didn't reveal his magical powers. He just did it.
Proprietary.
He just did it.
I got you.
The guy was dead. Jesus comes in, wham bam. He's back up again. He's back up again. But is it to die twice in one lifetime? Is that a bittersweet victory? You tell me.
Yes.
Okay.
Why would you not want to come back to life?
I don't know. Well, things were probably pretty bad for you at the end.
Maybe not. Let's just say it was an average life. Like
these were older people. They're not youngins. I mean, I can understand if there were young people involved here. Miss Montoya was 76. But
Mike, you need to ask for every day. Any day you can get back. Yes.
Okay. All right. Now I'm glad.
So if you got the offer, if you died and and somebody said, let's say there's a God,
Mm-hmm.
gone, and he said, look, I can send you back.
Mm-hmm.
You'd say, you know what? I'm good.
Uh-huh.
Is that what you do?
Depending on the circumstances.
Let's say your life is just normal, like it's
Mhm.
what it is now. It's not
Uh-huh.
amazing, but you're doing you're watching TV,
Mhm. Yeah.
you're doing podcasts,
Mhm.
you have a new show you love and are obsessed with, 90210. You get to eat Chinese food. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm
You're gonna
living
say
the
no.
best life. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, sometimes things aren't, if you're in the hospital, you have health issues, are you back with the health issues for more of that?
Yeah.
If you
Okay,
die
yes.
under,
Okay, yes. If
uh-huh.
you're in a concentration camp in the 40s,
Mhm.
yes, maybe you go, you know what? I don't care for that. I don't want to go back to that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
But it's just a normal, like if you died today,
Mhm.
you just say, you know what? No, thanks, God.
Mhm. No, today I would want to be revived. Yes.
Okay.
Things
That's all I'm saying.
are, not the best, but they could be worse. Yes.
I don't know how many times I have to explain this to you, Mike. When it's done, it's done. Well, not according to the subject we're literally talking about.
Uh-huh.
But you got to squeeze out every moment, bro.
Uh-huh.
I don't mean in terms of quality. I mean quantity.
Mhm. Well, a TikToker
Ooh,
pulled off the ultimate death prank.
the ultimate death prank.
Yeah, he faked his death. He
I
had
like that.
I think his son posted something on Facebook, leading family and friends to think that his father had died. This guy, his name is David Berton
Bringing the names today.
in Belgium. In Belgium, this happened in Belgium. It didn't happen in the U.S. So all his family and friends assumed this person had died. And so at his funeral, this guy is helicoptered in. And then he's alive.
Mm.
What would your initial feelings be? Because he got a mixed reaction. Because
If I'm a friend of his,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is bittersweet because on one hand you're pissed. Why would you put me through that?
Right.
Then it's like, well, shit. Of course I want you to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd be happy.
Okay.
I'd be happy. Your being alive would trump my couple days of being sad that you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
I think that trade-off would be worth it.
Yeah. Okay.
You say different. I'm not gonna
I'd be pretty unhappy with being faked out like that. I mean, come on.
But wouldn't you be so relieved? Oh, thank God. If I die.
I'd be relieved for about 10 seconds. And then it's gonna settle in like, why did you do this in the first place, you bastard?
So when you hear somebody died, but then you hear, oh, they're actually alive, you're pissed off. You're upset. You're not happy they're alive.
No, well, this was staged. It wasn't.
I agree. That's a little weird. Yeah.
This was staged. And he's a TikToker. He's doing it for the TikTok views. Everything revolves around TikTok now.
I think the happiness of, oh my God, my buddy Mike Lisk is alive. And let's be honest, I have one more great thing to bust his chops about. Because the other bad thing about that is you have to buy everybody drinks for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You owe people that.
Right. Yeah. You owe people. Yeah.
You owe people.
You're owed for life. But to something you said earlier, this is almost like a fantasy come true. So you get to see who showed up for your funeral,
which is good or bad.
Who's distraught, why isn't so-and-so here? I thought she would have been here.
That's like like my three biggest fears are death, snakes, and if I'm leaving a job and they throw a happy hour for me and nobody shows up. That would be the ultimate. What if nobody showed up? I don't think I would ever, as much as I talk about my funeral and planning it, I don't think I'd ever want to stage it. Because what if you're like, oh, this is going to be great. Everybody's going to talk about how much they love me and they'll miss me, blah, blah, blah. But what if you walk in, or what if you're listening in or whatever, and everybody's like, eh. That would be,
or maybe you lose a few friends when the thing is revealed to be a stunt,
yeah.
a TikTok stunt.
I don't think I'd want to. I love planning my funeral, and it's going to be an event, but I don't want to be there for it because it could be depressing. Because what if nobody showed up?
Yeah.
And you're glad you're dead, or wish you were dead. That would be a bummer. But yeah, I would be happy that you're alive.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate
that. That would transcend whatever anger us. And to be honest, after a while, it'd be funny. Come on.
Yeah.
But you disagree.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in staging life or death.
The person be dead.
Life or death stunts like this for for a TikTok video.
I'm not a fan of them staging it, but in the end, I think I'd just be happy you were alive.
Okay.
But you just want the person be dead. We got it. Okay.
Last item for Death in the News. And this one came to me from somebody on Instagram sent this to me. I've complained about QR codes in the past. Everybody's got to, scan shit with their phone. Well, guess what? QR codes are now being placed on headstones in cemeteries.
Haven't we talked about this? I love it.
No, we haven't talked about this. You've seen this? You've seen this?
Well, I don't know if they're QR codes, but yeah, I've heard that now on your tomb you can have a like I have always had that joke about you should be able to push a button and I tell you I slept with your wife, or boom, your mama joke.
So just audio, yeah, audio clips.
But I've heard, I don't know if it's a QR code. Yeah, you could play and they give you a video of their life or whatever.
Yeah, you get a little family tree, highlights, photos.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know if video is part of it, but maybe, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but then, are you going to get weirdos hanging out in cemeteries just hitting every QR code on every tombstone to find about all the dead people? I don't know.
Who cares?
It's a little morbid. Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, to each his own. Get your kicks. Some people hanging out.
For 1,000 years, we've had block of stone, a name, and 2 dates, maybe a pithy message.
Yeah.
Now we have the ability to have more. Why would you say no to that?
I don't know. I'm just not a fan of cemeteries in general.
I'm not either. I don't go to them either.
Yeah. So
if I did, why wouldn't you want to get as much from it as you could?
Well, maybe you could set up a memorial page and you don't have to take the trip to the cemetery.
I'm saying that would be the only thing worth going to the cemetery for.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't go now because you're just staring at I don't go to them now because you're just staring at a piece of stone.
Yeah.
That's creepy. But if I could push a QR code, oh, here, so-and-so, he did this, he did that. Here's some videos of him. I think that's probably the way they're all going to go from now on, right?
But you like the aesthetic of now it's just going to be a block of stone, a name and a couple address and a QR code. You like the look of that? Yeah.
You mean the look of it? Who cares what the look of it is? Now, I'm sure someone will be.
You're gonna look like a something on the shelf.
It's just gonna be a little square.
Yeah, it's just a little square, but it's I don't know. It seems odd to me.
At that point, once you watch video, it's no different than watching the video while they're alive. Something to celebrate, bro. Open up a little bit, bro. I don't know why you're against this one.
Open up.
I don't see any con to this, any bad thing to this.
Okay.
You seem disappointed.
I'm not disappointed.
I've upset you.
We have different ideas about this, so that's fine.
If somebody comes to your stone many, many, many years from now, Mike Lesk, 19,
nobody's visiting my stone after I'm put in the ground, but I'm not going to be put in the ground. I'm just going to be scattered. Just take my my
well,
ashes.
If they could hit a button. Here's the story of Mike Lesk. Why would you say no to that?
No, it's not even my decision, right? It's out of my hands, as they say.
After that, who cares anyway?
Oh, I'll be dust in the wind.
Ben Franklin
cares dust in the wind. Like? Did you like that song when it came out? Kansas.
Well, I'm not 100, so I don't know when it came out.
One of my early albums I had, well, my sister, I think my sister was getting the albums in the house, a little older than me.
That should be a contest. Hello, this is so-and-so from Topeka. For $500, can you name a second Kansas song?
There is another one on there. I can't name it, but
You can't even name one.
No, there were two sort of hits on that album.
You're about to give us this childhood memory of hearing this album, this song. You can't even name a second.
I'm an old man. I'm an old man.
Oh, you remember.
The memory is going.
Not when it comes to albums, though. Come on, bro.
I haven't spun that album since I was 12-year-old.
All right, but we got another game show. Can you name a second Kansas song? I like the news. The
new segment.
Yeah,
it'll pop up once in a while. We're not going to do it a lot. I've seen some criticism of Egg Foo What, that it's too sad. Which we I went through some sad stuff there, no doubt. It crept in.
For going through a life,
Yeah. Excuse me for letting life intervene.
Yeah,
which isn't always a barrel.
Won't be a problem again, guys. Sorry.
But it wasn't done purposely. We're not trying to make everybody sad. We're trying to have some fun. And in that spirit,
if this is too sad, there's other I listen to plenty of podcasts that are chippy and upbeat. You can go listen to them.
Yeah. I want to finish things off with a upbeat story. This is food in the news. Again, another TikToker or whatever. Elliot William, 30
TikToks. Woo.
Elliot William, 36. He's got a cost of living crisis tips. He gives tips to people. I guess this started during the pandemic. People were trying to save some money.
All right.
He got a lot of attention recently. He came up with a date night dinner that costs less than $1. The meal was spaghetti and baked beans.
Let me guess, the gentleman is still single.
This fellow is in England, which I guess explains the beans. I mean, I think they eat a lot of beans there, right? But yeah, it sounds like the worst meal ever. They had a photo and it was disgusting looking.
This doesn't sound like a clever life hack. This just sounds like something you could get away with if your date's an idiot.
Well, I think he is married. He's a married man, and somehow he pulled this off, or maybe he's just lying. But he had to.
Any dude, if you can convince a woman to come to your house, a new date, and have spaghetti and beans, sure. It's not that nobody has thought of that. Nobody has been dumb enough to try to pull it off.
Yeah.
I'm still bragging about my $4 prom dinner from 1989. But this just sounds like if someone's dumb enough to do it.
Can we get a little more details?
I feel like I'm shitting over everything you bring in here, Mike. I'm sorry. I don't want you to.
No. This is what I'm expecting, and you're giving the colorful commentary I expect. Well, what is this $4 prom dinner? I don't think we've discussed this.
Well, we went to you go as a group. Everybody picked this fancy restaurant across the river. I think it was called Windows. You would call it Les Fenêtres. And it was a seafood restaurant. So immediately I'm like, I'm out. And my girlfriend happened to be the one other person in the world who just didn't care for seafood.
Okay.
So it was like, just keep the bread coming. To be honest, I don't know where the $4 went. And I'm thinking about it.
You just ate bread.
Went on the sodas or something. Yeah. So
bread and soda. Okay.
Bread and soda. Prom night. Beautiful.
No, that's a nice story. Yeah. It doesn't take a lot, right?
So little bread, little
Keep
soda.
It simple. Keep it simple.
Beautiful woman with me. I'll take that. Why not?
You had a few laughs.
Of course.
Danced the night away.
I've had worse nights. Yeah.
All right.
Good looking girl. Soda pop and bread.
Yeah.
I've done worse.
That's a good tip for young people. It is. Now it's after prom season, right?
After next prom season.
Next prom season.
I'll do
all
a
our
workshop video.
listeners going to the prom next year.
I'll do a workshop. We'll do a Q&A. I'll help these people through.
We're helping people. That's what we want to do here. We want to help people.
That's our slogan.
That's our
Thanks for what? We're helping people.
And we do it every week. And we thank everybody for listening.
Whoa. Speaking of thanking people, can I give 2 quick shout outs?
Did you get a fortune cookie? I think we breezed past it last week.
My streak is broke. Oh,
people are like, what's going on with the fortune cookie? You're not consistent.
Who's these people? Where are you seeing? I don't see any of this stuff. Who are these people? Always
direct messages. Yeah, I'm getting direct messages.
I don't get any of those.
Please, somebody send Greg some direct messages. He needs some feedback.
Oh, the one I did get, and this is one of my shout outs, is the guy I mentioned last week who had said, hey, let's meet up.
Yeah.
I said, no, thanks. And you called me like
I called you out on that. Yeah, come on.
Excuse me. He wrote back. He said, hey, no problem. I get it. Thanks.
Yeah.
He said, I love the bit on the show. He said, no problem. I seem like such a nice guy, to be honest. Now I'm like, maybe I should go out to have dinner with him, lunch with him.
You are allowed to change your mind.
But no, he was perfectly nice. And, so a little shout out to him. And also I have to give a shout out to, I mentioned him, I think around Christmas, my old buddy, Donnie Pizza Sauce.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a guy who, faithful listener to our show, and I hadn't talked to him in like 10 years, and he started reaching out, text, oh, this was funny. I love this. Loving the show. I was so happy. I'm like, man, getting to reconnect with Donnie. And he's listening to the show. He seems to like it. This is great. Then I give him a shout out on the show. Haven't heard from him since. I don't know what happened. Donnie, if you're out there, I don't know what happened, buddy. I'm sorry. Was he in the witness protection program?
Let me ask you a question. Did he know his nickname was Donnie Pizza Sauce?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Just checking. Some people don't know that they have a nickname, and then they hear the nickname.
That's fair. That's a good question. But yes, the second I said, hey, let's give him a shout out, he was like, oh, fuck this. I'm not listening to this shit. So I don't know.
All right. Yeah. Sometimes, you can be too friendly, so you never know where it's going to go.
Yeah. Or maybe, maybe he actually has better things to be doing, but I just want to, put it out there. That's all. So
since we're doing shout outs, I want to give a shout out to IA.
We're done with the shout outs. We're done.
Now, we were talking about music documentaries last week. He recommended Say Amen Somebody, which
who did? I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah. So I watched it. It's on Criterion. I don't know if you can get it on other platforms, but Criterion has it, and I watched it. It is a great documentary.
Who gave the shout out for it?
IA.
Okay.
IA.
I did see that comment.
He's been with us from the very beginning. He's one of our devoted fans. So he gave me a good recommendation. I enjoyed the movie. They focus on sort of 2 legends of the gospel music world, Thomas Dorsey and Willa Mae Ford Smith. And they're older. This was shot, I guess, in the late 70s, early 80s. Came out in 82, the movie. But this movie, it's very enjoyable. But I guess as soon as the credits start and this music playing, they're panning, this church service, and you get a shot of the piano player, and he looks like he's just got an amazing look on his face, and it's like, why am I just meeting him now in the credits? Then there's a woman dancing down the aisle. I'm like, whoa.
Where's she been for 2 hours?
How she didn't make the movie until the end of the movie. So yeah, it left you sort of almost wanting more, which is, that's a good thing. So I want to thank him for that.
IA.
Yeah,
hey,
IA.
What kind of angry phone call are you going to get after this one?
I don't know.
Jerry sees us giving shout outs to this IA guy.
Yeah. So this week's fortune, it's just another sort of nice.
I love this cartoon version of Jerry I have where he's just screaming and so far all I know about him is he's the nicest guy in the world, but I have this cartoon of him going just leaving threatening voicemails.
Too much Beverly Hills 90210. What's going on? What are you doing?
This is AI, but you better fuck this guy. I'm Jerry, damn it.
I'm Jerry, damn it. I'm Jerry, damn it. Yeah. A small gift can bring joy in the whole family. Well, isn't that true?
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, no shit. People like gifts. Yeah.
Thanks, Chinese food. People like gifts. Didn't know that.
So again, I want to thank everybody for listening. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Yeah, the comments. Yeah, please correct us. We strive to be accurate, but we're just human beings.
If that. Thanks everybody for listening. Do all that stuff Mike said, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.